Okay, we get the map. That means we have a stream. So just for fun, during the last stream, somebody, one of the viewers, had mentioned that the only free module that we get with DCS is the SU-25T. It's true for modern planes, but there's also, I think, the TF-51, which is like the P-51 but trainer version. But I actually prefer the SU-25 because I'm not that much into World War II stuff, although I do have some World War II modules that are quite fun. Anywho, I figured I'd just put in an SU-25T in one of the missions I've used many times to test some of my modules, and it's on the map that comes with the game. You know, anybody would be able to create a little scenario like this. And it's the Caucasus map. We're gonna take off at Sanaki. We're gonna go where there are a bunch of fires that I've put there. Nothing complicated, a few vehicles. And for my SU-25, which is, as you can see, I use it to test a lot of modules lined up one after the other. I just added my SU-25T in here, and I loaded it up with like some big rockets, some medium rockets, some small rockets, and some air-to-air missiles, just to show that you can carry those as well. I didn't fill it up with a full load of fuel because it was a bit heavy, so figured I just put like what I needed to go and have fun. And I put the livery of Georgia, since this is the part of the map we're in. And so we have like a blue 4-plane that we can use for free, and we can destroy stuff with it. There are some vehicles in the field here. We're gonna go see what we can do about those and see if we can maybe come back to base afterwards. So hopefully I'm not getting myself into something too difficult, but since I enjoy flying the regular SU-25A quite a bit, I figured I'd probably have like an easy time with the SU-25T. So what I did earlier is I went to check if my controls were okay, and I set them up similar to how I have them on the SU-25A, because the patches, sometimes they will put like bindings, let's say, on the rudders where you don't need them. So I cleaned that up, and now we're gonna go test it out, see if we can have a little bit of fun with the SU-25T. Is it possible to have fun with a module that we get for free? I think it is. So we'll choose the SU-25T. So now we're gonna be like in the cockpit. This is what the plane looks like. I'm gonna show some of those vehicles that we have in the target area, and you can see there are a few fires there. So that's going to help us find the area where these vehicles are. We're going to try to go shoot some rockets at the trucks and infantry that's there. It's not very far from here. Probably as we take off, we're going to be able to see the smoke. I'm not going to use any of the fancy guided stuff because I'd have to learn how to operate like that TV that we see on the top right in the cockpit. I'll try to tell you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So let's give it some gas. We already have the flaps. I think I can bring them up just one notch maybe. That's something of the sort. Keep the plane straight. We've got our speed there coming up. Looks like we're good for takeoff. Get the gears up. It's a pretty heavy airplane, so I'm gonna leave the flaps up for a little while. But I do want to gather some speed, so I'm going to get them up now. There we go. I've also mapped the trim so that Now I'm trimming up a little bit because the nose wanted to go down. And there in the distance we can see our smoke. And we said like the targets are in that field there. So because it's not very far, I'm gonna get the plane ready for air to ground. Right now we're in nav mode. So I'm gonna hit the 7 key, and what you'll see is that the arming panel will light up some of the rockets. So now they're set for the outer rockets after you hit 7. Now there's a button, maybe we could go check in the adjust controls. There's a button that changes, I think it's the letter D, that changes between weapons. So we'll be able to switch between the rocket pods. So far I've hit the flaps up and down. I could show you there. That's left shift F or left control F, but you can also use just F to go get them to go up and down. And we use 7 to go to air to ground. Then we can hit D to switch weapons, and probably the only other button I might use is the C key, which is to change from the rockets to the cannon. And then of course there's the trigger so that you can fire weapons, which is space on the keyboard. Very simple stuff. So let's keep going with that. So I'm gonna switch weapons. Like on my weapon panel, you can see now I've switched to those rockets, and now I've got the most inner ones. The inner ones are the big rockets, so I figure if I start with those, I'm gonna make a lot of damage. But maybe just for fun we could go back to the original setting, which was the outer rockets. So let's put it like that. As you can see, the outside lights on the arming panel are lit up. So if I bring my plane towards that smoke, I'll spot the vehicles in the field, and you can see in the HUD there's a little circle. That's where my rockets are going to land. So let's go have fun, shoot some rockets. Let's line up those trucks a little bit better, and then we'll shoot some rockets for fun. So I'm lined up with that column there in front. And boom, boom, boom. Let's go see what we did. I'm gonna give it some gas, and as we fly away we see the explosions, and there are a few fires, and there's somebody shooting at us there. That's the little technical that we saw earlier. It's like a little jeep. If I hit F7, you'll see that's this guy right there. But we did manage to blow up something. So I think I'm gonna go empty the rest of that rocket pod on the truck that fired at us. Gotta find visually where he is. So that's him right there, the beige on the road. I don't think he survived that. Yeah, we made him catch fire. He had a very bad day there. Now one of the things we can do with this is if we hit the jettison weapon, let's see, what key is that? If we hit that button, which is left control W, those empty pylons from the outside are gonna jettison off the plane. There you go. Don't do it too much because then you'll jettison everything else, but since I started with the outside ones, I know that these are the ones that go first when you jettison. So I did that. So what we'll do is we'll just turn around, line up again with the vehicles, and we'll go for some more destruction. Maybe with our big rockets, the ones that are on the inside, they're bigger. Let's see, bigger rockets, those. Let's try them. So I'm going to go in my initial column that I had before, and I had targeted. Let's see how we do with that. And as you can see, it's already switched to the next rockets because we don't have a lot of the big ones. But I think we did quite a bit of damage with that. There's a lot of things blowing up. And so just for fun, to show that there are other things you can shoot with, we'll switch to the guns. So now we're in gun mode. I hit the C key to change to cannon. And we'll try the other column with the guns. And yeah, there's not much left of that first column there. I think some of the vehicles in the other column also caught fire. So we'll use some of our guns. So I'm lining up with the road that goes with the field there. Zooming in, I'm going to slow down a bit because everything's shaking right now. Guns, guns, guns. Alright, I got a few vehicles to catch fire. You can see a bunch of our bullets did some ricochets. I had to use my speed brakes as well on that one. If you're wondering how to do that, you can see them there on the wingtips. Like this. So that was done with air brake on, air brake off. Left control B and left shift B, and I think B just toggles if you just want to use the keyboard. Whee, okay, good. I think I'm going to do one last pass with my remaining rockets and then we'll head back to base. Because it's fun to fly, but then we have to see if we can land. So I'm going to hit C again, and now we're going back to our, in the HUD you can see S80FP2. That's the rockets that I have in the center. These are the medium-sized rockets. I don't think I have a lot of targets left. Let's see the target area there. Yeah, let's try to line up, but I don't think there's much left. So I'm just gonna spray the area in case there's like any infantry left there, there, or there, or there. As you can see, lots of explosions. And so that's a mission accomplished, I would say. Look at this. Not much left there. Alright. So now we're going back to Senaki, which is just to the right of that little bump in the scenery. That little hill there, runway is going to be a bit to the right of that. So we should have it visible. Yeah, we can see it there. And usually when we call the ATC, they tell us to come in the other direction.
Corky, Springfield 1, inbound. Springfield 1, Corky, fly heading 106, 115, QFE 758.95, runway 27, depend altitude.
So runway 27. Why do I know it's not the direction I'm heading in? It's because my compass here, I'm heading to about like 100 degrees, so 27 will be in that direction, which is behind me. So that means it's going to be a landing from there to there. That's how I'm going to land. So for now, I'm just flying past the airfield, then I'll slow down, then I'll get my flaps down, wheels down, and we'll land. I just remembered, like, the HUD in the SU-25T is much more modern than the 25A. It looks a lot like the HUD of the SU-27, so it's much more modern. The other one is really just like a kilometer sight to be able to shoot rockets, guns, some guided weaponry that you guide with the crosshairs. Some basic stuff. So I'm gonna turn around and slow down at the same time. Oops.
Abort inbound, resuming mission.
I wanted to go to the outside view because, yeah, the speed that we get, the reading in the HUD, it's in kilometers per hour. So you have to remember that.
Springfield 1, inbound. Springfield 1, Cokie, fly heading 104, 45, QFE 758.95, runway 27, to pass altitude.
And so now we'll ask for permission to land.
Request landing.
We'll get our gear down. We're a bit fast, so we're going to get the air brakes out. I'm trimming up a little bit so that I don't have to pull too much on the stick. And you can see now we're slowing down. We'll get the air brakes back in.
Springfield 1, Cokie, check landing gear. Wind 257 at 2 meters per second. Runway 27.
Oops. I drifted a little bit too much to the right. I was looking at the taxiway and not the runway. Alright, let's line her up. Coming in a bit fast. So now we've touched down. I think I deployed the parachutes. Did I? Did I not? Oh, no. I think I won't have enough runway, so I'm gonna have to take off again. Okay, that was a bit hairy. Came in way too fast. When you're learning a plane, you gotta learn it properly, which I didn't do before coming in. I was coming in at like a MiG-29 speed, not at an SU-25 speed. If my plane's wobbling a bit, it's because I'm playing with my trim. Now that I'm going faster, I have to trim it differently, so I'm trimming it down, then up as I slow down. Maybe I could get out of the air-to-ground mode and back to the nav mode. Yeah, I'll see my information a little bit better. Okay, let's turn around. Maybe get some flaps and not the gear just yet. Let's call the airfield again. Well, maybe they know that we're coming. So gear coming down. I was wondering if I even had a chute with this particular plane, if I deployed it or not, or if I was too fast when I did. So many questions. I should have read the manual. That looks a little bit better. Oof, okay. Maybe I spoke too quick. Okay, now we're braking. Correcting a little bit with my rudder inputs. And it looks like we're going to be able to come to a stop this time. The air brake's out. The flap's down. I was pulling on the stick to get a little bit of aerodynamic braking. And we have wheel brakes. And now they want us to get off their active runway. So we'll go park in the big parking lot right there. Can get the flaps and the air brakes in. Give the plane a nice clean configuration. Then I'll bring it into that little white notch there. That's where I'm going to park it. And so we're going to brake here. And then maybe some of the last things you'll want to know how to do. I think it's right out end and right control N will stop your engines, and I think shift L will stop the electronics. So let's go try that. So right alt end, my left engine is going down, and right control N, you'll see the RPMs that are close to 4 on the right side are going to go down. There we go. Actually, those weren't the RPM. The RPMs are here. Now they're going down. This was probably just some of the engine pressure. Something of the sort. So now we see that these are coming down. So if I want to shut off the battery, I hit right shift L, and now everything's turning off, and we'll see the artificial horizon start to spin because it no longer has any current going through it. And is it Control C that opens the canopy? I guess that's what it is usually, right? There we go. There's even like an animation for the little door handle. And so we're here, we're parked, we had a fun little flight. So it doesn't completely suck. You can do quite a bit with this. And one of the nice things is if you get serious with this plane is you learn how to fire the Vickers. You have that little camera in the cockpit and it looks with this thing in the nose, and you can laze targets with that, and then you can shoot like I think you carry 8 Vickers, so you can shoot 8 enemy tanks in one pass if you're good at it. So hopefully you enjoyed this flight in the not so boring plane.